Welcome back to Weather Nation. We're starting out with our top weather story, and it is severe weather. We saw intense storms sweep across the nation yesterday. This is video of one of those funnels that touched the ground, producing a lot of dust, a dirt devil basically. Fortunately, that one wasn't associated with the severe thunderstorm, but the winds that were moving across New Windsor, they were pretty severe, leading to lawn furniture being blown by powerful winds. And as we look toward Brooklyn, New York, they dealt with heavy rain, intense wind as well, and a lot of lightning and storms. And we're not done with the severe weather threat at all. We are, though, for the Northeast, but for the middle of the country, we're talking about more storms. Thanks for tuning in. I'm meteorologist Marcus Walter. And as we take a look at the storm reports that are out there, we have storm reports that stretch from parts of the West Coast into parts of the East Coast. In particular, you'll notice storm reports stretching from Colorado down through Texas and Oklahoma, but you'll also notice a large cluster of wind reports across Pennsylvania into parts of the Northeast and around New York City in particular. And in these areas, we saw some powerful storms move through. We showed you some of that with the videos, but these storms produced hail and damaging wind, and they also led to at least 5 fatalities from falling trees. So again, those winds were very powerful, and with the heavy rain, that was not a good situation for trees in the north and east. And as we take a look at what we are still dealing with, because of a lot of those strong winds and those trees coming down, we're dealing with a lot of power outage issues across the region. Take a look at some of these wind reports. We saw wind reports up to 78 miles per hour in Beacon, New York. We also saw wind reports up to 73 miles per hour toward Bossert, PA. So extremely windy. And we also saw large hail, anywhere from 1.75 inches to about 2.75 inches of hail. On top of that, here's a look at some of the latest power outage numbers as of 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Places like New York, you all measure more than 161,000 customers without power. Connecticut, close to 100,000, and we're talking about a little more than 60,000 for Pennsylvania and more than 55,000 across New Jersey. So these storms meant business yesterday, and fortunately, we are quieting down weather-wise. But take a look at some of this just satellite imagery from yesterday's storms. You'll see those thunderstorms firing up west of New York City, and then they really bubble and they sweep across the region. And whether you were in Long Island or New Jersey or Pennsylvania, you were dealing with the impacts from these storms. But now let's take you out to Nashville, Tennessee, because we're tracking rain. Nashville, you all have some rain chances not too far away. Some of you may actually be dealing with some light rain as we speak, but you can see the clouds are out there for sure. Still won't be too cool, but wet weather is in the forecast. And as we take a look at what's going on the radar, well, we are noticing rain from parts of Florida into parts of the Northeast once again. We're also noticing a cluster of rain showers and thunderstorms from Texas into parts of Oklahoma. Now take a look at the last 4 hours across the nation's capital, across New York, across the mid-Atlantic. We've been dealing with light and moderate showers. Wouldn't be surprised if a few folks have dealt with a few rumbles of thunder, but as we look south, we're talking about heavy rain just east of Knoxville, moving across western parts of the Carolinas. Atlanta, you're dealing with rain, but that rain actually stretches all the way down to Dothan and even toward the U.S. Gulf Coast. And as we take a look at Florida, we see that connection. That rain is pretty much moving toward Florida as we speak. So Cape Coral, Naples, get ready for more showers and even a few more thunderstorms. And as we look toward the middle of the country, we're talking about heavy rain just north of Oklahoma City, but that's dissipating. And we're noticing a line of persistent showers and storms firing up across parts of Texas. And that's associated with the stationary front that will serve as the trigger, the lifting mechanism to produce severe weather for today. So take a look at the outlook. We're talking about a marginal risk for severe weather from western parts of Texas through western parts of Oklahoma. Outside of that, we just have a general thunderstorm threat. But again, more storms are in the forecast. And when we talk about marginal risk for severe weather, we're talking about a situation where we can get some isolated severe storms developing, winds anywhere from 40 to 60 miles per hour, and hail up to 1 inch in diameter, and also a low tornado risk. And we're keeping an eye on that specifically across northern and central parts of Texas. But take a look at the high plains. We're dealing with some storms firing up likely this afternoon. We're noticing a few sporadic ones here or there. Any of these storms that develop, we're talking about damaging wind and hail. But again, the threat is out there. And you'll notice those rain chances, while not totally impressive, wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot more expansion of this as we head throughout the afternoon and evening. So take a look at the setup. This stationary front is the reason why. On top of that, we have warm and humid air out there. So this will bring us a threat for severe weather today and over the next couple of days. We'll tell you more as we head throughout the day today, but take a look at this camera. We're taking you to sunny Florida at the moment. We're talking more rain on the way.